Hey guys, my name is Jordan. I go by the username hook'emhorn7 on whatifsports.com. And someone posted on the forums they thought it'd be a good idea for someone to make a video for beginners, so I figured I'd give that a shot. I do only have one national championship, but I have a boatload of conference championships and I have a pretty good win total. And I've played this game since 2004. I've been through all three versions of the game, so I figure I'm a alright source to get you guys started. This video is basically in to provide a quick overview of Whatifsports navigation and then just a little bit into getting you started into Gridiron Dynasty D3. Um, to start off, this is your home page. It'll show you any current teams you have or any games you currently are in or have played. To the right, you also have credits, any credits you've earned, rewards points, site mail, or any support tickets you've sent to customer service. Rewards points you earn at the end of each season, and the more successful you are, the more rewards points you earn, and they can be used to purchase in-game seasons, as well as Whatifsports memorabilia and merchandise. Text is your site mail. You can either click here, or you can click up here. This will glow green if you have a new site mail pending. You click it, you have your inbox, your sent. If the user has not opened it, it is still green. If they have, it is gray. You can create a contact list of the various users as well as compose your site mail that way. Let's just go in and start showing you. I'm going to show you first where you can find helpful information besides this video. Obviously, this help has a lot of good information, so the FAQ, if you have any of these questions, you just click it, takes you to that part. I don't personally use the FAQ all that much. You have Coaching 101. This talks about practice plan, depth charts, very basic stuff of what I'm going over. You also have this option at the bottom. When you're at D3, you don't get to change it off of this beginner setting, but as you move up, you can change to intermediate and advanced if you would like. From this page, you can also, if you go back over help, this changes to Gridiron 101. I don't know why they set it up that way, but what that does is it shows you all the offensive and defensive formations, shows you how many players at each position are on the field at that time, and then it gives you a basic rundown of what each formation is designed to do. I will say that pretty much everyone has been successful passing and running out of all of the formations, and just about every offensive and defensive formation is used. If you're looking to kind of follow more prominent formations, it would be pro set on offense, and defense, it would be either the 3-4 or the 4-3, depending on your preference. And again, you definitely don't have to go those routes. That's just generally what you see a lot. After that, in the help page, you have Player's Guide. I still use that to this current day. I come here from time to time if I can't remember stuff. It tells you how long the season goes and how many days it is. For beginners, it's very important. This practice plan tells you what practice category and what's developing for each player. That ties into these core attributes down here for each position. So the attributes that are more important for each position, and then some secondary attributes that can kind of help you either determine who to recruit or who to set higher on your depth charts. It also includes some things like recommended roster, the number of players on your roster. Again, you definitely don't have to follow that. It's just a recommendation. And it has a lot of great information about recruiting, tendencies, and setting all of that up there. Another great place to find stuff is the forums. If you hold your mouse over the Whatifsports at the WIS tab, you can access, GD forums specifically or any worlds you're in. You can access those specific formations. Otherwise, from your locker page, there's a forums link at the top right, and you can access any of them that way. Gridiron Dynasty General Forums is a great place to post for questions or see what people are asking and help you kind of get some other information outside of any other resources you have. And each world also has their own specific forums, but generally not a whole lot is going on in those. After that, you have chat, which I'll dive into in a different page. It just takes you to the team chat down here, or the conference chat down here at the bottom. Or you can go the manage renewals part of the office is right here, and that's where you can add seasons. You purchase them, and it puts them in your pool. You can remove teams from auto renew, or you can manually renew them on the right. Please note that all the pages, if you mouse over them, have the drop-down menu you can use, or if you actually click on the tab, they do align them on this lower bar here. Next, we're going to go into the coaching tab. This coaching 101 is the same thing that's under the help. First one is your roster. In here, you just see your roster, who recruited them. This is how you will apply red shirts, see if anyone has any promises that you've given. And most importantly, it has this sub-level. With this current team, as you can see, I have them set to 90. You can adjust them however you want. You can do an individual player here by selecting them and changing it. Or you can do the overall position as a whole. At the bottom here, you just click and change it, and it changes that whole position. Please note that on offensive line, they are simulated as a unit and not the individual player. So something to keep in mind when setting your depth charts. Your practice plan is where you get to go in and set what formations you're practicing. You can do as few or as many as you would like. I will say that most people don't do more than 2 offensive and 2 defensive formations. And when you edit these numbers on the left, it changes your position practice automatically because you're only allotted 180 minutes between the 2 position practice and team practice. At D3, you're not really able to customize a whole lot as far as the position practice. As you can see, custom is blanked out. That's down here. As you move up, you get to go in and set those categories more specifically as you move up. Also note that anytime anything has changed in Whatifsports on your depth charts, your game plan, or anything like that, this button, the save button, will turn yellow. That means something changed, and so just hit save, and it'll let you know that you're good to go. Next tab over is depth charts. Right over here is Whatifsports role rating value for per position, and that we'll talk about that more in a minute up here. But you can go in and look at your players and adjust it accordingly. Simply just grab a player's name, drag it up or down, and let go. And then if you want to save your changes, be sure you do so there. D3 is very basic, and you do so for offense and defense, as well as special teams. Your game plan is here. The main game plan, you don't get to edit clock management. You do get to edit 4th down approach. And then for the winning, losing, tied, and overtime, you do get to edit, well, I guess not in overtime, but you do get to edit the clock management and 4th down approaches for those. That is done also on offense and defense. For the special teams, you just get to select how far you're going to kick a field goal. The playbooks that you use in those game plans are here. Whatifsports already has some generic ones in here, but I highly recommend going in and creating your own. It allows more flexibility and kind of helps you learn the game. At D3, you're not allowed very many. As you can see, I only have 3, and I'm already maxed out. But simply to create it, you click this green button, create new playbook. It'll go through several steps to create it. It's not real important how you set it up when you start it, because it takes you back to this, and to basically set your depth charts, your game plan, you just move these sliders up and down. When you first create a game plan, it's set to global, and that's just going to change all 4 downs to the same setting. I recommend switching it to per down. That way you can adjust first and second down, first, second, third, and 4th down independently of each other. The next tab is formations, and this is where you get to give a little more flexibility into who actually is getting the ball and when. To edit the playbook, simply just click the pencil there underneath the name, and you can edit who is running the ball inside and outside, and how often. And you can do the same for passing. Do note that your total at the bottom has to be 100, but you do not have to have 100 in all of the depths. As I said earlier, the position roles, that's Whatifsports assigning values to each position based on the cores. It gives you 100 total points and then distributes them out. At D3, you're not able to edit them, but as you move up, you can change these to whatever you feel is more or less important per position. The next tab is recruiting. I'm not going to go into that at this time. I'm going to create a recruiting video separate from this one. Next, briefly just touch on schedule. This is where you have your current schedule, any exhibitions you had, and anyone you have scheduled for the future. To schedule both exhibition and non-conference, you can either access it under this challenges here or the drop-down challenges exhibition and non-conference. Exhibition you can only schedule during recruiting. You'll just simply click on a team. If it's a human, you will need to wait for them to respond. They will accept or decline. If it's a sim team, they automatically accept right away. Non-conference, this is where you can go in and check for opponents for each week. Each week will normally be having the search um, button on the right. You simply click it, go down, find someone you want to challenge to either a away game, to a home game, or to random. And again, humans accept it manually, Sims accept automatically. This is the postseason schedule, which will come out obviously when the postseason comes. Next is standings. If you click it, it just takes you to your conference, gives you the overall conference standings. This is where you can view the chat. If you click the view full chat button, it'll show you more messages that might be older. You can also access previous messages if you need. To enter a message, simply click that button, the view full chat button, type in here, and you can click post. You can also post to any conference in the world by simply clicking on that conference and posting the same way. After that, you have the Whatifsports ranking. That's essentially the former BCS rankings or the current playoff rankings in real life. They determine playoff seeding, bowl matchups, all that stuff. You also have a press and coaches ranking. They are pretty much just determined by the sim. Human coaches don't have any say in it at all. Eventually, there will be a strength of schedule ranking that also comes out. You don't see that independently; it just shows it aside, and that comes out the same time the Whatifsports rankings come out. These player and team ratings, they just show you ranks the ratings per player, per position. You can do it for each level. Do please note that overall rating is not that important in Gridiron Dynasty. It's more important to pay attention to those core values per position. The next tab over, and the last one is any stats for the world that you can look up various things, draft results at Division 1, and former national champions at all the levels. I'm going to post some other helpful links for other things posted in the forums for you guys, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. Otherwise, shoot me a site mail if you have any questions. Just hook'emhorn7. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and thanks for joining Gridiron Dynasty.